can't be a TheLifeOfRon video without some nicotine pouches, right? Put the disclaimer here. All right, what is going on, everybody? Figured I'd hang out underneath the trees since, if you can't tell, I haven't even shot yet. It's hot. It's hot, but I'm blessed and thankful. Back down on range 3.5. If you've seen the title, I'm sorry you've seen the thumbnail. We're doing a comprehensive review on the Spartan Armor Systems DIY plate rack. Now, when I first got it, I think since we've had it, we put over 5,000 rounds. I've shot it for my first initial thoughts on it. I didn't film it because usually when you get a new shiny toy, you get really excited, and I didn't want to let all that dopamine rush, kind of hit my thoughts and just say, oh, it's good. I wanted to put it through its paces. It's a AR500 steel DIY plate rack. We'll get into why it's called DIY. We'll get into the price because this is the most durable, I don't want to use the word cheapest, but most affordable, durable, beefy plate rack on the market today. And I want to put it through its paces. So we have over 5,000 rounds through it. I'll show you how much I paid for it, the parts, because you do have to buy parts. That's hence the name DIY. Now, scrolling through the internet, you look at, I'm not going to name any companies, but other plate rack companies that ask astronomical, I say astronomical amount of money for plate rack. You got one for $1,400 before shipping. Got to remember that because it's a AR500 steel target. That's before shipping. You have this one that is almost $1,900 before shipping, and it weighs 370 pounds. That's a beefy girl. Now, this is DIY. Oh, and you have this one right here for 12 and some change before shipping, and it doesn't have an arm to pull the plates up. So every time you shoot, you got to walk over there and actually lift them. I don't understand it. But I was looking for a plate rack. I've ran about only 3 plate racks in my life, but since I tried to progress with my shooting experience and my skill, I'm always looking to better myself and challenge myself. And with the help of Greg Billy and his land, let me build the range, I reached out to Spartan Armor Systems, and they sent me out the plate rack. Now, if you look on their website, they're known for their plate carriers and their plates itself. Got to have a nice plate carrier. Got to have some really good plates. They also have AR500 steel targets. They have a dueling tree. They have regular silhouette targets. They have critical A zone. They have hostage. They have all sorts of stuff. But the thing that caught my eye is the $500 DIY plate rack. So if you guys, like I showed you before, this one is over $1,400 after tax and shipping. So I'm trying to figure out why it was that cheap. It says DIY in the name. It says it in red here that some welding is required. So scroll down, it says the actual parts that are needed for the plate rack itself. Now, this might be a turnoff to you, but if you look at the invoice right here, after everything was said and done, after taxes and shipping, it cost $808 and some change. So 2 boxes came to my house. I have a buddy named Aaron that also welds about an hour west of my house. So I dropped the boxes off to Aaron. I told him what needs to be done. I sent him the schematics, the blueprint. When you buy this stuff, you actually it comes with a downloadable schematic on how things need to be built, what needs to be added. I said, go get the steel, weld it. When it's done, tell me what the bill is, so on and so forth. Now, disclaimer, I don't know if steel prices vary between state to state. It might be different for me, different for you. But after he built it in a day, he said it took him just to get the stuff, but to weld everything, it took him about an hour. And he charged me an extra $425. So out the door with the DIY plate rack and the parts and labor cost me $1,233. Now, some people, it might, I can't score. I had a squirrel moment now. Yeah, so $1,233. That might turn some people off, but when I show you guys the target, like I said, we have well over 5,000 rounds here. I let Greg shot it and a bunch of other people, a couple of local gun tubers. First time ever meeting them, but I invited them out to the range. They shot and they had a good time, and then I told them the secret sauce on how to shoot the plate rack. We'll get into that later, but let me shut up. It's been 5 minutes. I haven't showed you the rack yet, so let me show you the rack, the plate rack that is. We're family friendly over here. And just show you the torch. I'm not going to paint it yet. I'm going to paint it right after I show you because I want you to take my word, I guess, that we shot the absolute piss out of it. and it's held up fairly well. So you have to excuse the terrain, but we've had rain and mud, so it's not really very, very level. So don't take my stand with the boards, and Greg and I, we just had to make it work. So you can see we shot the absolute mess out of this thing, and it's holding up extremely well. We'll go through the back. You actually can see a bunch of shrapnel from the bullets and everything like that. But overall, this thing is extremely, extremely well built. So with that being said, I'm gonna paint it, and then I'm gonna play a clip of what it used to look like when Aaron built it, and he's gonna tell you everything that had to go into building that plate rack. So here is the plate rack. And then the man that built it, AR500. All right, Aaron, so you built this. Yep. You want to explain what pieces you have to buy if you go with this plate rack system?
The first thing you got to buy is the deflector plate, the legs, the angle iron that mounts all the targets on it, and the reset bar.
Right.
Just the bar. When you get it, you get everything to build these. You get the arms, you get the bolts, you get the pins for the plates, for the targets, and yeah.
Okay.
It's not bad to build. There's a lot of welding.
Right.
Set it up. If you have a good place to set it up,
right.
It's great. You have to weld the targets onto the pipes there that the pins go through. You have to weld the brackets onto the angle iron onto the thing, the end plate, and then the leg holders onto the end plate.
Right.
So there's not a lot of welding. It took us about an hour.
Okay.
Yep.
So I guess if you're comprehensible with welding, it's pretty straightforward.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. Nice. And the machine, it's machined well.
Yeah, dude,
all
it's
the
solid.
parts fit together nice.
Freshly painted, as promised. All right, so before we get shooting, we're going to be shooting with my AF 1911 Romulus by Alpha Foxtrot with the VAX on here. That is a 4-portsman with the compensator kind of blown out a little bit. Atlas trigger, the O-Sight S on it because it has an RMSC footprint. This is the first gen. The second gen has the RMR. We're not going to get into it. And a MJD Solutions grip. The mod light, I'll be drawn from concealment with my incognito holster. But if you're asking yourself, who is Spartan Armor Systems? You don't have to take it from me. You just read this email. This is from the man himself. You can pause it to give you some details on the company. So if you don't want to read it, you don't want to pause it. Every piece of steel that they get, AR500, is sourced from American sources. It's very admirable. Their main customer, police officers. Every piece of AR500 steel that goes in their plate system is in all their steel targets. That being said, I'm gonna run the rack, and then I'm gonna show you guys the secret sauce on how to actually run it properly and run it fast, I should say. Properly, just shoot and go, but if you wanna run it fast, I'll tell you guys what to do. So we put some ears in because I almost shot without ears, bees. That would have been, I would have found out the very first shot. 10 yards, let me move this to the side. That way you can see all the things. Right there is good. Load and make ready. You thought I was gonna start shooting without talking about ammo? All ammo in this video is sponsored by Deltaco Munitions. Deltaco is a veteran-owned and operated business here in Michigan, in Livonia. So if you're in the Michigan area, you wanna support veteran-owned operated business and a local business like I support. I don't get any of this ammo for free. I pay for it because I want to represent and do business with good people. The most accurate ammo I've ever had. No squibs, no failures to feed, extract, no light primer strikes, nothing. He has everything from 5.56, 9mm 115. He has a secret sauce of his 158 grain. They have the super, I'm gonna show it right here, the super spicy defensive rounds, his prototypes. I'm gonna, spoiler alert, Eric. If you wanna use the code GOD5, because none of this is possible without him, greatly appreciate it, save you some money at checkout if you want some freedom seeds. So, Deltaco Munitions, there you go. So let's go ahead and run the rack. Load and make ready, check the dot. So, method to the madness for a plate rack If you just want to shoot once, goes down. But if you want to shoot it fast and consistent, and that was slow, we'll start speeding it up. What you want to do is, let's just say this is POVU, right? It's unsafe, your finger's not on the trigger, calm down. When you fire, instead of watching the gun go up and then reconfirming that your target was down back at the target where it was, you want to ride that recoil impulse and just transition. Instead of coming up and down and then transitioning, you want to come up and then take that, ride it at the 12 o'clock, shoot it, shoot it, shoot it, shoot it. If you don't believe me, watch this clip. You shoot, and then with the recoil up, already coming, you move to the next one.
Okay.
So another thing is hand-eye coordination. So instead of just focusing so much, I don't know if you focus on your dot or your target, but you're supposed to focus on the target.
Right.
But as soon as you squeeze that shot, if you look at the next one, and it takes practice, but you look at the next one and then ride the recoil up instead of waiting and then transitioning.
Okay.
Up, bam, 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 bam.
Okay.
So it's just try it nice and slow, but shoot one, and then you'll see your dot go up and down, and then try it. The next one, go bang, and then as it recoils up, transition to the next one. And literally as soon as it touches at the 12 o'clock, pull it, and then do the same thing.
Okay.
See? She can do it. All you have to do is listen. I'm not the best shooter in the world. Like I said, I've only shot these a few times. But, here we go. But I shot it enough. So do it again, nice and slow. Speed it up a little bit. We're starting to get a little bit faster. But if you have a plate rack, or if you own a range and you want a plate rack to work on your transitions, it tests your fundamentals. It tests your transitions. Like, anybody can shoot once. But it's when you shoot and transition, and then if you do miss, well, I'll show you. If you do miss a target, you want to keep transitioning to the other target, and then you can transition back over. So it works with snapping back on target to know. So watch, I'll show you. So I'm going to hit this. I'm going to come over to the other one, and I ran out of ammo. But you see how it goes back and forth? It works on your transitions. It works on your grip. So it works with your fundamentals. It's clear, but Greg's way behind the camera. So when you fire, go back and forth. You know your holdovers and transitions, but it's happening with your grip as well, and your trigger pull. You're prepping the trigger to get on that shot. You're riding that recoil. So the more you do it, the faster you're going to get. It's like I said in the beginning of the video, I want to get this target because I want to become a better, competent shooter. I have the 8-inch steel targets, which I think at the end of when it was checking out is right under $750, which for a plate rack is super, super inexpensive in my opinion. I got 8-inch because if I bring everybody out to the range and I want people to be able to shoot, and you get a really good sensation, instant gratification when you shoot targets, especially steel. It's kind of boring hitting paper. So 8-inch is a lot easier to hit than 6-inch. I don't mind it, but I wanted to think of everybody else, not myself, right? So that's the method of the madness. It's been well received between everybody that has came out to the range, and I have nothing bad to say about it. So now we're gonna get a little bit spicier now. Now I'm gonna test my draw from concealment and see how fast I can clear the plate rack. I think Hunter Constantine can do it from concealment at 10 yards, which is we're at 10 yards, in a sub 3, so 3 seconds or lower.
Stand by. Better. 273. That's what I'm talking about. 15-yard plate rack, 273. That is my new record at this club.
I don't know if I can get that. My fastest, I think, is a 333. Yeah, a 333. Like I said, it's my first few times ever shooting this rack. So see if I can. I would love to break a sub 3 in this video. So let me load up and redo it. Ah, that would have been it. I missed one. That was a 296. I was right there. Shoo! All right. This is why I like, you mix the timer with the plate rack. As long as you have enough freedom seeds, you'll be here all day. You just continuously get better. Oh, I was right there. I can do all things. God, that strengthens me.
296.
279. Wait. Let me do it. Let me do it. Oh, feels so good. Should I lied? It's 272. I can't even read it right. 272, draw from concealment at 10 yards. That was a spicy one. But that concludes the plate rack. Challenges you, especially when you match it with a shot timer. But that is the most affordable, durable. I'm gonna have to put that in my will, because my son's gonna have to take that because it's gonna outlast me. But one last thing before I go. Down in the description box and in the pinned comment below, there's actually a coupon code you guys can use to get some free swag if you elect to go with either the 6-inch steel plates or the 8-inch like I did. So Spartan Armor Systems is hooking you guys up. I'm Ron. You gotta.
If I'm tall enough for it.
And that's the bees. That's the plate rack. Again, from concealment, 10 yards, 272. See you guys on the next one. Peace.